A very warm welcome to everyone. Myself Sakshi Lakshman Surve. With me Snehadeep Kadam, Arman Mulla, Shivtej Phalke, Rutuja Gotne, Ramai Kamble. On the behalf of Ashokrao Mane Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research SAVE, we are here to present a seminar under the guidance of Mr. A.N. Dhage. So our today's seminar topic is Community Pharmacy Management. So the main objective or the purpose behind taking this topic is this chapter provides some ideas about managing a community pharmacy, important sections of management science like finance management, material management, and human resources management are explained, which on learning a reader can use while practicing the profession. So basically, what is a management? Management is an art as well as the science of planning, organizing, directing and controlling the efforts and resources of an organization. The basis of a management is decision making. After identifying and defining a problem, it is analyzed, different solutions are found, and the best solution is implemented by the management. A long time ago, the management and administration of a firm were considered and one and the same, but now it has been established that the former is concerned with decision making and the latter has more to do with implementation. However, this is not a fixed rule, as there is a considerable amount of overlapping in the functions of these two. As far as the community pharmacy management is concerned, it is about the functioning of a small organization. However, even they have to follow the basic principles of the management. They have to deal with main, material and finance alike. Thus, there are three categories for the same. First is the financial management, second is the materials management, and third is the human resources management. So first and most important is the financial management. The very first requirement to run a pharmacy is the capital. In order to estimate the amount of a capital required, the following 3 points are taken into the considerations. First, estimated or expected sales volume. Second, inventory required to meet the above, and third is the approximate operating expenses. All of the above three is estimated by thorough research, market survey and from the experience of the people of the locality. Usually, the projected sales volume is estimated at the lower level, while the operating expenses are estimated at the higher level, so as to avoid any kind of disappointment. In the initial stages, the capital requirements will be more, as the supplier or wholesalers may not be forthcoming to offer a credit. However, it may changes favorably in the due process of time. Similarly, if the pharmacy desires to go for a credit sales to the customers, the capital requirement also increases. Capital is required to pay advance rent for a building, creating infrastructure inside the pharmacy, and more importantly, for purchasing inventory and stock, whereas cash is required to meet the operating expenses and for the emergency purchases and expenses. As much as possible, fixtures and equipment are fixed and installed in the manner that they are movable and relocated if required. This minimizes the waste and helps in the recovery of the capital. Financial management also includes efficient management of money or cash in the business. This is reflected in the return on the investment. Generally, the cash flow in a business is limited, but the demand usually exceeds the supply. In these circumstances, efficiency in the finance or money management is of almost important. In case of a failure, the pharmacy will not be able to honor its payment commitment to the suppliers and will lose all the potential discounts on the cash purchases. Second is the materials or infrastructure management. The objectives of the materials management is its continuous flow to the pharmacy. without any interruptions. Hence, controlling the inventory of a pharmacy acquires a significance. It is further described in detail in chapter number 19. Inventory control is more important for pharmacy because of its limited resources. A peculiar problem that arises with a community pharmacy is that there is no way to estimate the demand and quantify it precisely or even approximately. This is because the demand for a prescription is generated by the physicians and not by the consumers. Dealing with the consumer for product requirements is easier as compared to having a deal with a doctors. For example, if a particular general atom stock has accumulated and is in excess, it can be pushed to the consumers by offering discounts, incentives, and etc. many more. On the other hand, it is not possible in the case of drugs. Hence, a very careful inventory level has to be managed so as to avoid excess of a shortage. Another problem with drugs is its immediate need, as a patient cannot be requested to wait till we procure and supply it the next day or later. While maintaining stock of particular drug, the prescription flow, its frequency and the time taken by the vendors to deliver must be taken into an account. Control on purchases. Having said all this regarding to the control on the purchases, a community pharmacist should not be too strict on purchases, because once they earn the reputation of out of a stock pharmacy, they will lose patrons in no time. Infrastructure requirement and its management. The infrastructure includes fixtures and equipments for a proper storage, display and a sale. For a community pharmacy, apart from the legal requirement of a refrigerator, air conditioner, storage racks, dispensing counter, etc., computer printer arrangement for the uninterrupted power supply is a major requirement. For taking care of the above mentioned factors, multiple quotations can be collected and the best supplier can be picked from hassle-free operations. In order to fix the infrastructures, proper consultations with experts is a must. After considering an increase in sales volumes, convenience of employees, customers, ambience and appearance, the layout of the pharmacy should be decided. The modern fixtures are designed to offer a flexibility, and it is important to experiment with them against various arrangements and layouts until a most suitable combination is achieved. Third and the most important is human resources management, that is the staff management. Depending on the size of the community pharmacy, there could be a requirement of one cashier cum accountant, 2 or more pharmacy assistants or salesmen. This is independent of the legal requirement of full-time pharmacist. If the pharmacy is open for more than 8 hours in a day, or an even bigger staff may be required. Most of the pharmacies operate there from 9 am to 9 pm without interval. Hence, there must be at least 2 sets of employees, as most of the patients prefer visiting either early in the morning or after the 5 pm. A skeleton staff during the daytime and a wider staff during the evening hours can be one ideal pattern for human resources management. If the pharmacy decides to serve the community round the clock, additional staff may be required during the night shift. The pharmacy assistants selected for the job should have some prior experience in the community pharmacy. If not, they should be properly trained in a day-to-day operations and also made aware of neat housekeeping. The services should be used to arrange and display the goods received. They can also help to clean the racks periodically and verify the drugs for expiry date, damage, leakage, etc. Also, while cleaning them individually and replacing the dead ones, this helps in avoiding the unexpected loss due to the expiry of stocks to a larger extent. For similar reason, new arrivals should be kept behind the old stock. However, this is not a concrete rule, as sometimes the drugs with short expiry might be supplied later. If the community pharmacy For a door delivery of the drugs to the customer, at least one assistant with a two-wheeler driving license should be recruited. As the pharmacist should concentrate on a patient-oriented services like patient counseling, and noting the medication history, giving the instructions about the use of a drugs, clarifying patients' doubts, receiving a medical representative, etc. The pharmacy assistants can be trained to this way. They get to develop a rapport with regular customers and also get a better sense of the business. Thus, the human resources management is an important aspect of community pharmacy management, which has the potential of making or breaking a pharmacy. So there are some questions which might be asked in the examination of end semester. First, what is the management? Second, briefly explain the financial management of the community pharmacy. Third, write a note on materials management in community pharmacy. Fourth, explain staff management of a community pharmacy. And fifth, write about the management of a community pharmacy in detail. These are some questions which might be asked in the end semester examination. Thank you for listening.